Welcome out, y'all. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. We here to bring you that boom bap breakfast as usual. Now, let me bring forth partner in crime. You know his name, he goes by Dr. Jared.
Yo. What's up, Ear Doctor? What's up,
sir.
Remixers?
What's good?
What's up, world?
Oh, man. That was a classic right there. Do you recognize that beat?
I didn't. I just recognized the boom bap genre, but I did not recognize
a little
it.
bit.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Right, of course.
Old to the new.
Of
nice
course.
And smooth. Man.
Yeah, right on. Salute.
I wanted to be smooth as smooth be.
Greg Nice. NICE. Yeah.
How was your
I don't have a memory like Kim does.
dropping them pesos. Wee wee.
Domino pesos.
Domino pesos. Yeah, I said dropping them pesos. You see how we fuck up songs so easily.
Yeah. Low maintenance background. So
everybody know this is off the rip.
Yeah. So I'm changing up the space a little bit. And I'm also on day 2 of the Ear Doctor recommended juice fast.
What?
So this is a whole new, we doing a whole new winter solstice shift in here.
Nice.
So
the energy is a little, or how would you say your energy is right now?
I just feel weird. The energy's a little off. They promised that the energy would be up because of all the nutrients and vitamins I'm getting in this juice fast. But I don't know if I feel that.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it for more days. I noticed that when it comes to those juice fasts. Yeah, you be like, that shit ain't happening.
Yeah, no, this is. I'm just doing. Yeah, I'm just doing 3 days. I'm not.
That's good.
You know.
That's right, Project Diophysis.
You know what I'm saying?
The Ear Doctor is influencing folks. Hey, man, it's a lot of people getting sick right now. I know. I'm pretty sure you noticed. Like a lot of people getting sick, and it's like 44 degrees in Atlanta high today. Shit is crazy.
There you go, Chitty Matcha. A nice reset, though. Yeah. That's what I need. I need a gut biome reset.
Mm-hmm. Yo, I bought an avocado the other day, right? Shit ain't had no seed in it, man. I was like, the world's coming to an end. Like the one fruit I could be like, yo, it got a seed in it. I cut that bitch open. You know how you think you about to hit that seed?
Yeah, that's weird, actually. Yeah.
Fucking weird as hell, man. That's why I was like, yo, man, I gotta get my shit right. I gotta start growing all my shit. Cause this like Group Home said, the world's coming to an end. I don't know what's going on.
But that's the thing. I mean, I just don't. It's just not realistic for me.
Mm-hmm.
That I mean, how many crops are you going to grow?
I mean, enough to feed the fam. I'm just like, damn, man, we can't have nothing natural no more. Everything is fucking made up. I'm just realizing more and more how we trying to get killed off with cancer. That's I'm just gonna leave it there, man. Niggas trying to kill us with cancer, man. As many ways as they can. They like, you know what? Fuck that. We're making it, and you're gonna eat it, and you're gonna shut up and take it. Fuck that. I've been a rebel all my life.
All right, I don't know about all that part, but
you do you, I do me.
Exactly.
it ain't up for debate. How was your weekend?
My weekend was great, man. My oldest was home.
Y'all went to see Wicked? It looked
We
like, because
did.
I seen you did. I caught a little bit of the show.
Yeah, I went. I saw it, and it was all I could say was better than I expected. But I just saw it seemed like some folks were trying to do some things with it politically that I don't know.
Yeah, it
I
was
don't
no
know if I see
memorable.
it.
It was no memorable songs in it neither. You know how most musicals have a memorable song. I didn't get one. Not
Elon
one.
said no more.
He fucked up the movie for you, Elon.
I don't know. I feel like I might have. I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't check the.
The comments.
Well, all films are political. Everything is political.
Everything is.
So my point was that what people are doing with the politics, I don't agree with, and that was my point of yesterday. But per Elon's request, I don't need to. And Zenzabel, damn, stop watching.
It's like, you ain't gonna fuck my movie I want to go see up.
So Ricky might not have watched the show yesterday, but I of course talked about it being a book already and all of that, you know. So I talked about the book and all of that. But you know, again, per usual, I wasn't even this one. I wasn't even lining up. I that was sort of by request and a number of, you know.
Was you in the movie theater like, oh, I can't wait to get home to talk about this shit?
No, I wasn't. The exact opposite. No, I'm just playing. It's all good, Zenzabel. It's all good.
Yo, they blackened the hell out of her, but gave her some braids, that name. What was her name again?
Elphaba, but that's not new. The name isn't new.
It was more African than all them other names.
It's a transmogrification of the author's name or something like that.
Oh, it sounds like Alicia or Elphaba. Whenever you got a sister last name, her first name end with an A, you already know what it is. Big up to all my sisters whose last name end with an A.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Oh no, it's a very, you look at our Black American, we got a lot of A's at the end of these sisters' names. It just makes me think of more of an African-centered name. But going back to the movie, it was, yeah, she very stood out. Everybody wanted some of the black culture that she brought to the place. You know, her magic. Everybody, the Asian lady, the white dude, the Wiz, they all wanted what she had, her powers. And they treated her like shit. And I was like, look at that. Tell you who don't get treated like shit. Come out, Kate Franklin.
Oh no, it's the opposite, son. It's the opposite.
Uh-oh.
It's the opposite. There's always something. Always something.
This morning?
Not this
always.
morning.
He said always.
Always something. I can't open up an email. You can't have a conversation. You can't.
It does get like that sometimes when you look at the email, you see all these unread messages. You're like, oh Lord.
There we go.
Am I about to click this?
Yeah. It's like, who's mad today? Who's mad today? You know?
I got to see my brother Kamal yesterday, y'all.
What? Before you say, let me give the compliment to the Ear Doctor and his crew for all the work they're doing at Black Man's Lab. So, you know, the thing that organizers dream about, a room full of people, working class people, everyday people, not people who are overtly politicized, but folks who are trying to walk that walk and talk the talk and trying to do things in their community. And they're looking for camaraderie and friendship and love and togetherness. And it was really, really, really cool to be invited to the space, to see the work and the great space that they have and to see the work that they're doing. So sometimes people talk about, like, you know, we are reorganizers and all that kind of stuff, but we don't give credit to sometimes the people who actually are pulling the folks that we can't pull or we don't pull on a regular basis. So all praises due to the Ear Doc and his crew at Black Man's Lab and the work that they're attempting to do.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro. It was good for you to come through. I wish we had it on like a regular day, because what happens is usually the audience asks the people on the panel questions and stuff like that. Then person on the panel sticks around and has more conversation with people. So you would have definitely been able to recruit some more people for CMB and all that.
Yeah.
Because people are just looking for stuff to do to help out the community. So yeah, it was dope. Good to see you.
Yeah. Really good. Really good. Also, book club day. Book club day. I haven't seen me for a while, so I'm full of energy and shit.
Let's go.
Me and my man Hiram, this was like over sometime, maybe like last week. We were discussing our favorite topic, George Jackson, and what he must have done to be the head of the Black Gorilla family. I'm also a favorite topic of me and Jared. We gotta have a conversation. I was gonna say a three-way conversation.
Yeah, watch out now. Watch out. Take it easy. We trying to evolve, but even still, you know what I'm saying? Take it easy.
So
just say a threesome.
A threesome. We're gonna have a threesome. So one book, The Black Gorilla Family, 1966 to 61 to 71. Mobutu Angola. I'm not even going to try the last name. I think it's Odajago. But so the only problem with this book is that there's no footnotes, as Hiram pointed out. So you can't really verify. But this is like the tale of supposedly how the Black Gorilla family started, and all the stuff that George and his comrades were involved in prior and stuff like that. Now, I'm sure some of it, a good amount of it is probably true. But again, it's hard to verify. There's no footnotes. I can't find much information on the writer to see like what's his background, who he know, how he get this inside info and stuff like that. But still, even if it's, it's worth the read, because as we always say, like the things that people like George must have done to be the leader of a prison movement and to gain the respect of people throughout the prison system, particularly the people in the prisons he was with at such a young age. Some of this verifies and talks about some of that. So the Black Gorilla family. I finally got my book back.
Real quick, who's the guy with the I'll be sure eyebrows on the cover?
That's what's his name again? Pennell?
Hugo Pennell.
Yeah, Hugo Pennell.
Okay.
Yeah, good dude. Yeah, I mean, he was, good dude. Solidarity. Why do I want to say Venezuelan of origin or
like that.
But something I can't remember but did a lot of work with the BLA folks and in the prisons, and then went out in a disturbing way at the end of his life. I mean, he was in his 80s when he was killed, something like that.
And according to this book, he was once labeled by prison authorities as the most dangerous man in California prison systems. Second book,
he was. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, apparently he was that dude, and struck a lot of fear in folks. But
don't sleep on the pretty boys. That'll be
don't
sure.
Don't sleep on the.
You be killing yourself.
Tell you.
Yeah. So somebody asked me to put it up again. The Black Gorilla Family, 1966 to 1971. So I finally got my book back. I always talk about this book, The Big Dance.
Yeah.
The untold story of Weatherman, Kathy Bodine. And here it says the terrorist family that committed the Brinks robbery murders.
Nothing like that good New York Times bias.
Yes, exactly. So this dude was a writer, I think, for Newsday. And he covered, as a reporter. So this is a good book, not because of the perspective, right? Because the perspective is garbage. Basically, the Weather Underground folks all had, mommy daddy complexes and rich complexes, and the black folks were just crazy, and they're not even the lead of their own story. He really wants to tell the story of the white folks, even though the story should be about, if you're going to write a story like this, about the black folks who were leading the things up and using the white folks in a good way, in a camaraderie way. Because the white folks did the driving and all that kind of stuff, because it was like, who gonna suspect these so-called innocent-looking white people that are driving the cars when they're supposed to be looking for this squad of black folks who just did something. So, but a lot of the stuff in here is based on FBI tapes and surveillance, and so again, it is not a It is not a clean story. So for all of you who are looking for heroes and sheroes who've done nothing wrong in their lives, who've led the perfect life and so forth. These are our political prisoners, and our freedom fighters are flawed people and organizers, just like the rest of us. And then last,
damn, you're gonna make me start reading
Mao, A Life. So I got me a little better Mao book. And I just started on this one, but this one goes in deep on Mao the organizer. You know, what Mao did in the community, what Mao did to sort of fight oppression prior to becoming the person that folks know as Mao, in terms of, like, you know, being the leader of the Communist Party. A lot of the early part of this is Mao really getting deep into his organizing bag, and coming to his politics and doing the stuff on the ground. And again, the Communist Party is being a political project, right? They weren't trying to, you know, start a business. They weren't trying to do social service work. Like, they were organizing people in different ways in order to create revolution. And so this shit is hot. Yeah. All right, I'm done.
I just want just let me know when you read the chapter where Mao talks about circulating the yen.
Yen.
We're gonna circulate the yen and get ourselves out of this imperialist stranglehold.
And crypto yen. He talks about crypto yen. I heard.
He was like, one day they're gonna come up with this bullshit, and we need to jump on it first and invest and get Satoshis.
Philip Short is the name of the writer. I didn't mean to cover up the thing.
Oh, right on.
Philip Short.
But yeah, I remember, man, there's a lot of foundational texts that got me to a certain level that don't have no footnotes in them. And I admit, I'm a little bit, you call it the academic thing if you want, but I'm like, man, put a citation on that joint, son.
That's the thing, because then this is somebody, you don't know where they get their stories from, or what, like, you know, they didn't even say he didn't say who he interviewed, who he spoke to. And again, I mean, you know, he's naming names and talking about incidents that took place. And so it feels like, you know, at some point, tell me where you get that info from, because it sounds like it's deep info.
It sounds great, but I'd love to follow up on it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, can I learn more? I guess I got to start from scratch.
What's an easy read for people that's trying to get more politically educated that you could suggest? Either of y'all.
Oh, man. I mean, I used to say Malcolm's autobiography. I think that's still a good starting point. You know, I agree with what Brian Becker said the other day. I think it's the first 2 chapters of the Communist Manifesto. Like, you don't even have to read the whole short book anymore, because it's not really relevant. The second half isn't relevant, but the first half, you know. Somebody said Blood in My Eye, which is still my favorite. I don't know if I would call that easy, though. But
it's not a first read.
I don't know if I'd call that a first read, but same thing with Wretched of the Earth. I wouldn't call that a first read either. I mean, it took me.
I guess Destruction of the Black Civilization is always.
But that's a classic example. Ain't no footnotes in that joint. That classic text from Chancellor Williams.
Yeah, that was one of my first books I read.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of those, like that's why I had a professor. Shout out to this professor too. Where was he from on the continent? A francophone country, little short dude who had been a former priest and then broke away from the church. But he saw me reading George G.M. James, Stolen Legacy, which was another one of those classic and it was like, don't have no footnotes. And he was like, that's a really interesting, but he said, and this professor told me, if you want to step it up, then you got to read Jup, Civilization or Barbarism. Which is the
Zero P, which MLK book do you recommend? I would say one of his last books when he was talking about the trash strike. I forget the name of the book.
His last full-length book, Where Do We Go From Here, Chaos or Community, is I think the book I always recommend that people read from him, because it's the most his last full-length book. It's his most evolved political analysis. It shows you a version of King that most people never see. So I think that's a good one too, and I don't think it's that difficult as an early read either. Somebody said, Quentin says Black Power by Kwame Ture, and the brother just died too, right? The professor, Charles Hamilton.
Oh, Hamilton.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I think that's probably a good first read. I don't remember. And
I read it too late. I think I read it after I read a whole bunch of other things, and so it hit me different. Okay. So it hit me as more reformist than it did radical.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah, it depends when you read it. Yeah, I get you. That's true. Ricky has said Sophia Bukhari, The War Before. I think that would be
right upstairs. That would be a good read. Yeah.
Yeah. I have not read this. 50 years of the Battle of Sohail Dolatsai. I have not read this, so I can't comment on. What were you saying, Ear Doctor?
Oh, no. You said, where do we go from here?
Chaos or community? Yeah.
Okay. I was talking about. Okay, got you. No, Why We Can't Wait. That's the one I was thinking about.
Okay. I mean. Yeah. How Europe underdeveloped Africa.
Yeah, I read that one too.
Walter Rodney. That's a.
I've read books, y'all. I've read. I've read that book too.
That is a good book.
Yeah.
I will echo all of Malcolm, like the autobiography and the speeches. Reading the speeches, like I think politicized, and they're still so relevant in terms of the history has changed, but yet it stayed the same. So when I read the speeches or listening to the speeches, but like it was. Very radicalizing, very like eye-opening kind of thing. And for me, a lot of the rich history of the Panthers. And I'm a big history reader as opposed to sort of ideology or philosophy. Some people get politicized in different ways. I found less helpful the actual books by the Panthers than I did books on the Panthers. So there's Black Panthers Reconsidered, which goes into like the different factions, not only factions of the Panthers as in fighting factions, but like the different class elements within the Panthers, or the different, like, so women in the Panthers, or the folks who do the day-to-day work in the Panthers, people that you don't usually hear this doing it, like folks who say, like, every day I woke up and I went to the office, I got the cereal ready, I got the whatever ready, I got the breakfast thing ready. What their role was, what their experiences were. Then at such and such a time, we got the propaganda, and we started hitting the colleges. And so it's all that kind of stuff so that you get a better sense of the organization, not just through the speeches and not just through all of the huge sort of public persona of it, but through the day-to-day work that people were doing. And again, when there wasn't as opposed to people getting quote unquote grant money or jobs, it was like one person got a job. Folks lived together. One person may have got a job and they kept a day job. And that day job allowed another person to live there also to be doing the daytime work of going out and organizing in the community. Right. So it was like that kind of switch off. It was like people saw their role as, this is what I do to maintain the work that we're doing, while you get to go do this other work. And it wasn't like the jostling around who's the more revolutionary than not. It was like, yeah, that needs to be done so that we can go do this. And I think that kind of stuff people don't, think through or understand or get enough. And so I think that kind of stuff is really valuable for folks in terms of like learning about that history.
He's talking about Black Panther Party Reconsidered, edited by Charles Jones. It's got my homeboy Ali Johnson has an essay in that. Who else is in there? Clarence Lucene has an essay in that. It's a number of, but I like Kamal's point about the book because it gives you sort of it's an anthology, so you get a variety of authors commenting on very specific aspects of the party.
Yeah, and I like what he said about reading the books that just give you the history, because it's like unfiltered before another author can step on it and regurgitate it.
Well, no. The history, I'm sorry, the history can be done really badly. Like, so that even when I talk about some of these books, half the time it's not even the perspective of the author, because a lot, like, who else has the money to do the deep research, spend years? Usually it's mainstream people basically white folks who have the resources or the fellowships to spend years digging deep. Now, their perspective is a certain way. They're going to tell a story a certain way. Mm-hmm. So if you are, trying to be sort of an astute reader, there's certain things about the perspective I'm going to be like, well, that seems to be your view of this, and that won't be my view. But still, there might be some I think there's important ways in which folks can lay out some facts and histories, particularly if they are doing the proper, not only footnoting, but interviewing people who maybe have different perspectives or perspectives of what they did. Mm-hmm. So I usually feel like I learn more, because then for me, it's about how folks have applied what they believed to their everyday work. And so it just works better for me than hearing somebody like revolutionary suicide was it's been a long time since I've opened this book, but I do remember it was a difficult read. Just the way it was laid out or whatever. So for me, it was I'm not catching half of what my man is talking about. And that could have been, the way it was written. But yeah.
You know what time it is? It's time for us to do another Patreon 3 books that we all suggest. And I'll do 3 albums that I suggest. I think it's about time for us to give Patreon members something new.
We should.
Yeah. Because I just like somebody said, do you have these books on the website? And we definitely need to be putting out some books for people to read.
Oh, that would be great if we had like a reading list. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is a good idea.
Yeah. Educate the masses. All right, because there's some books I need to pick up. Oh, I know it.
Yeah, there's lots. I
set myself up for that.
Oh, while we at it. Look, oh, damn. Okay, appreciate you. Oh shit,
look at that.
Ricky. Oh, look at. Hold up. What's this going on in the chat? Right. I met Rick. We met through Dr. Charity Clay's book club, where we read my first book. Yeah.
I'm gonna get Jared's
appreciate
book
that. Yeah.
When he signs me a book and gives it to me, I even pay him. I even give him some money. But that's when I'm gonna read Jared's book. So next time I see you, JB, have me a book.
You should read the Malcolm book.
I read Malcolm already.
That has both.
No, his book. The book he edited.
The one that me and Todd co-edited that Kamau is in, Kali Akuno is in.
Got?
I have 2 very short single authored books and 1 edited anthology.
So the key word is short.
All right, they are. They're short. But why I gotta hand deliver them to you? Why not get them and then read them
I want
and then
autograph.
wait for me to see and then I'll sign it?
No, Jack. I want the autograph, personalized book for my brother, the ear doctor. That's what I want. Is that a big ask?
No, he said he'll sign the book.
Oh, and just send it to me.
I don't understand why you have to wait for me to bring it to hand deliver.
Oh. Yeah, you want him to give you a book signed.
And then he'll read it.
All right, just sign it and damn.
He's buy me the book, sign the book, and deliver the book.
I told him I'll pay it for it.
And then he wants me to sit by his bed at night and read it to him.
Cliff notes.
Well, since you asked.
What do you mean by this right here?
What happened next?
I'll be calling him like, yo, what,
Uncle Jared, what happened next?
Uncle.
In the white.
Your Uncle L over here now.
Speaking of Uncle L, when we come back, future Dr. Erica Brown set us up with a nice story. I'm glad it's on there. I do want to talk about it, and you need to be involved, Mr. Ear Doctor.
I'm here. So let's go ahead and take our first.
LL is out here talking reckless.
What? What?
I think so.
Okay,
but let's go.
We're gonna find out. Let's take our first break right here on no other than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Breathe, y'all. All right, big up, y'all. Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Thank y'all for tuning in. And make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com. Become a member over there. Get footage that's rare. And as you just heard, we're going to drop something new in the Patreon for y'all to rock out to. Yes, More books you need to know of, more albums you might not have heard of yet that you need to check out. Yes, we're going to do that for y'all. Also, go to the bottom of the screen. Well, it might not be at the bottom of the screen, but go to blkliberationmedia.org. There you could donate. That way we can continue to keep this train moving forward motion. All right, boom, let's get to the weather report. Let's start off in the ATL. Like I said, it is cold out this mug. Yes, 44 degrees is going to be the high in Atlanta today. Hey, 1 degree going down, 43 degrees in DC, so big up to the DMV. Chicago, cold as a mug, as you would expect, 33 degrees. Houston, 66 degrees. It is getting winter, y'all. I'm in some water in the sun. Go to Cancun, but the high is only 77 degrees, so it might not be for too long you be in that water. Last but not least, let's go to Sierra Leone, as my boy Frank Ocean was saying. Sierra Leone, they got a high today of 85 degrees, which is all right. It's pretty hot, but I tell you what else is kind of hot. The fact that this brother finally went platinum off this song.
Two in the three and then the four, then you gotta breathe.
Yes, we talking about Fabolous. Hope I spelled that right. But Fabolous, that's right. Finally went platinum for his song Breathe. Why is this dude not mentioned as one of the greats? I'm still wondering, because the dude has been around, consistency has been around, doing this thing, and always knows how to make a hit. But what do I know? Anyway, big up to Fabolous for finally getting a platinum album. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah.
I did like that track. That track.
That's Just Blaze. Just Blaze.
So, yeah, here's the war before the Safia Bukhari book that folks was talking about. Really good book. She's underrated or not talked about enough. I knew her in New York. As folks may know, I always like to gossip a little bit. She's also was married to Ashante Austin, former veteran Black Panther Party member, former political prisoner of BLA. Also, people should get The Trinity of Fundamentals. The Trinity of Fundamentals. Okay. This book was written by a Palestinian political prisoner who had to, and I get these books that Aget is reading. This book was given to me on a trip I went to Ireland. I'm trying to remember, some people may know better than I, but this book was written by a brother who was in prison. And it's done as a fiction, although it's based on his life locked up by the Israelis. The pieces of the book had to be snuck out. And basically they had sort of a way in which it went to one person, went to another person, went to another person to try to get out written on toilet paper and other things like that. At some point or whatever, the Israelis found the originals, and apparently they destroyed it. And so he thought, years of work was lost. But then he found out that this might have not been the greatest idea, if I'm telling this correctly, that one of the people he was passing it to also was copying the book. And so it was preserved because somebody else was making copies, was writing it down before they sent it out because he loved it so much he wanted to continue reading it. So this is all about life, sort of surviving life in prison, in Israeli prisons and jails. I haven't gotten to read it yet, but everybody has told me what a fantastic, great read this is around Palestinian struggle, resilience, and survival. So definitely read.
Uh-oh. I'm seeing that our website can't be reached. What's going on with that?
I didn't pay a bill. Did I not pay a bill?
What do you mean our website can't be reached?
I just tried to type in BLK Liberation. Oh, I forgot to put media.
So there you go, folks. When you go to the website, blkliberationmedia.org, make sure you spell it correctly because it is working. Doctor up here is sounding the alarm. He's like,
no, somebody in the chat room said it wasn't working, so they probably spelled it wrong. So my bad.
Because you sent them the link. I sent them the crooked link.
All right, man. What my boy LL doing, man? Come on, man.
So
Can't live without my
I did
radio.
actually see this, and so I thought it was funny that it showed up on the run sheet today. But you can let me know when to stop it. It's 4.5 minutes.
Oh, I will.
All right, here we go.
You know, I'm gonna say this with humbly, but I really mean this. I think one day people are gonna wake up and realize that LL Cool J is the most important rapper that ever existed. I truly believe one day people are gonna say that. They'll say, "Yo,
look at your man."
I don't even this dude is smirking.
When it comes to the jewelry, this is the guy who introduced all the diamond and the ice and the champagne. They're gonna say when it comes to the love songs, this is the guy who introduces the love, all the love shit. When it comes to the bad boy vibe, they're gonna realize, oh, this is the guy who introduced all the rebellious bad boy vibes before it was done. When it comes to the GOAT terminology, they're gonna say, yo, this is the guy who came up with the GOAT stuff. They're gonna say when it comes to Def Jam, wow, this is the first artist that was on Def Jam. They're gonna say, well, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When it comes to the solo artists, gonna say, wow, this is the first solo artist to take it all the way around the world. Like, I mean, I could go on and on and on. They're gonna say, yo, when it comes to the FUBU, yo, this guy introduced the whole idea of putting clothing lines. Even before that, he did Troop. When they say, when it comes to endorsements, oh, this is the guy who did the Kango and made the Kango popular before people even did that. When they talk about television, they gonna say, oh, this is the guy who did the credible stuff on TV and at the same time was still making credible records and wasn't just doing TV and using rap as a launch pad. When it comes to business, they're gonna say, what? Like, I could go on and on and on and on and on. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like that's why in a lot of ways, it's hard for me to get into the movie thing, honestly, sincerely, and I mean this sincerely. And it's like, that's why it's not really that interesting for me, because I'm doing so much and I've done so much for the culture that it's almost like it's unfathomable. I mean, Run DMC wasn't even on Def Jam, bro.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Biggie made Going Back to Cali because, you know, I made the song first.
Yeah.
You know? Like these guys, like every artist that you can name, the biggest artists, the billionaire artists were launched on the label that I launched.
Yeah, and even
no, but seriously, like I mean, these names, like the biggest names in hip hop that come from the 90s, and I'm saying this with love. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I really sincerely, I'm just saying, when you look at you take guys like Jay, these guys were launched off of Def Jam. That's the label I birthed. You talk about these guys like Kanye and all the things he's done. They were launched on a label that I birthed. Like, you can't, like, so it's like when I look at it really when I look at the epicenter of what it really is, come on, bro. Like it's almost unfathomable.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be, and I'm honestly, sincerely, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I just really believe that. So it's like, when I look at it for what it is factually, it's almost like, how do you make a movie about that? How do you make a movie about that? Like
maybe a TV show with maybe seasons, maybe.
All right, so he's saying he's too big to be made into a movie, so we can do, Malcolm and Mandela and Winnie Mandela, and
it gotta be series. It can't be one movie. He's right. It gotta be series. It gotta be a series.
Not right about any of it.
What?
The first thing I'm thinking is this should be a confession, not a praise song. So you ushered in the Bad Boy, Biggie, gold chains when we was trying to wear Africa medallions. So you ushered in all of that stuff. So you self-snitching on the complicitness. You running off to do whack-ass TV shows is to be praised, playing cops and SWAT team members in movies. So you that should be praised while the SWAT team. Wait, if you're talking about SWAT, if you talk about people SWAT was invented to suppress Black liberation, and you're going to go off and play, and you made 14 shots to the dome, and I want my $12.99 back. and no, just play it. But seriously though, with all due respect to LL, because he does deserve more respect than even I'm giving him here. But when you go to a party, when you're DJing a party, who is lining up for the LL set? Who is saying, where's that LL track? I need to hear it.
They call me Big LA. traffic. Oh, what? Come on, man. Listen.
There's
LL
not
has the
one
right.
track but if you go out and hang out all night and don't hear LL at all, you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. You don't feel like you
It's
missed
fine.
anything.
Okay.
You don't feel like you missed
Fine.
anything. You don't go back in your head and go like, yo, where was that LL shit at tonight? You know what I mean? You don't feel like you missed anything.
To this day, this man is giving jobs to goddamn the elder statesmen and keeping them relevant right now. When we talk about Shy Rock, when we talk about Roxanne Shante, we talk about Rock the Bells Radio. This man has been doing it for years, and to not give him props, I cannot do that.
Well,
I
it's
didn't say
not
don't
about
give him
not giving him props. Yeah, everybody's giving him props, but the amount of props that he thinks he deserves seems a little bit more
Too big for a movie, son. He can't be made to a movie. Now he does. You bring up a good point though. Salute to LL for having
Rock the Bells Radio.
Rock the Bells Radio and not leaving the hip hop to Slim Shady's channel.
Yeah.
So that I love that because I never will turn on Shade 45, but I will listen to Rock the Bells just on GP. So salute to him for that. But come on, son.
I mean, he's always been arrogant. That's LL. I mean,
like
that's
those
part of
TV
his...
how can he brag about them TV shows like they were something? Like
The
anybody
one with
remembers?
Alfonso Ribeiro? Come on, y'all playing.
What's the name of the show?
In the House.
And what's Alfonso's name again?
Alfonso Roberto. Did I get it right there?
Nah,
Well, you got the name of the
worse.
show right, so
In the House. Yeah, I mean,
is
been
it a
doing.
classic show that like people. I don't ever see no reruns of like In the House. No one's begging for. That's the thing. Like, so LL, you're like he put out a lot of stuff, but it's not stuff that people go back and go like, you know what I'm missing right now? I'm missing a little In the House. Let me watch some reruns of In the House. I'm turning on my old school hip hop. Or like, you know what I need? Where's that LL segment?
But
People
the man,
wanna hear Biggie. People want to hear Rakim segments.
the man has had a hit single every decade since he's been out. No other artist has. No other.
And he's got longevity on his side. Like, and I agree. Like he's an all-time top. Like if there's a rap Hall of Fame,
He's in.
LL is certainly
he's
in the rap
definitely
Hall
in
of
the- of
Fame. You know what I
course.
mean? There's
Yeah,
no
of
ifs, ands, or buts.
But he need to relax.
But the greatest.
He
Yeah,
needs
it's
to
like,
relax.
really?
He does need it because when he was talking that goat shit back in the day, I was like, "That's ridiculous." Like he's not the goat.
But the MC's supposed to say that. We are braggadocious. We supposed to say we the best. If we not, you're not.
But you like it coming from somebody who you think might actually be the best. You don't like it coming from somebody who you think, well, you might be top 10, 15, but
No, you're right. You're right. He's supposed to do that, and I'm supposed to do this. So we all doing our. We all doing our
everybody's doing their job.
Salute to the goat. I'm a hate over here.
Give me his $14 back with that 14.
I want my
shots of the dope.
$12.99, man, because it
Tax.
wasn't no hits on that.
Add the
album.
tax, my brother. Add the
You're
tax.
right. Add the tax because it wasn't no hits on that one. Whatever his decade streak was, it didn't get help with that one.
Wait a minute. It had a
I
hit.
want
Everybody
that
was
one.
the first artist on Def Jam. No,
I do know that. I remember. No, he
forgot that.
was. I remember him as a kid. I was like, he's bringing that energy because he wasn't doing the. He was considered like a hard rapper at the time. Like he was considered, like not a,
Yeah.
And then he did do the love shit. I like that whole.
I hated that, but yeah.
Okay,
but a lot of people loved it.
He had two songs on this 14 Shots of the Dome. It was Pink Cookies in a Plastic Bag and Backseat of my Jeep. I'm swinging.
No, neither one of them.
Neither
Pink
one of them.
Cookies in a plastic bag is not.
That shit was hard. Come on,
Nope.
man.
You had to go look it up to remember that. You just looked it up. You didn't even remember that.
Raj, oh my bad. Raj is saying it's a national treasure.
It is.
You are goddamn live. There's not one. No, it's not.
That song is hard. And Backseat of my Jeep. Let's swing an episode. What?
It was a decent song, but it wasn't like.
It's not.
It only
worth
had 2 hits
$12.99.
on the album. I ain't gonna front all the
Not
other
worth
songs.
$12.99. I want my twin plus the tax, like Ear Doctor said, plus the tax.
All right, let
With
me get up out
interest.
of here.
When did the album come out? Back in when did that?
That album came out in when was it?
I want the
Good
interest.
question.
Compounded.
That was 1993.
Yeah.
Early
I want my money back.
1993. Damn,
my money back.
I graduated from high school. That's crazy.
Wow. Right. You got out the Navy that year.
I was in grad school.
Damn. There it is.
Get back in my place.
Yeah. Little children. Who let this little kid play on the turntables on this platform? Who? Oh, man. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Remix Morning Show. Kamau and Jared, Ear Doctor, future Dr. Brown on the run sheet. Should we slap the map?
Let's slap the map.
Let's slap the map. Remix Morning Show, Jared and Kamau. And no, Reef, we are not jealous of LL. Please. Please.
I'd be jealous of LL.
For what? For what? No, I'm sure that bank account looks nice. I hope he has good insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Hope he has good insurance. Good for him. You got any place you want to start? Please do like, share, subscribe, support the Patreon, all that stuff, by the way, everybody.
I do. So it's not the best story, the best article, but I find it fascinating that your man Joe Biden,
he's still here.
It's you don't only remember that he's still the president because he's like every now and then it'll pop up that it's like, oh, he's doing something. Like you thought for a while Harris might have been the president as he was running for president. Trump is one, so now it's like, isn't Trump the president? But no, right. Old man Rivers still goes, and he still has time to pardon his son. So this article says how Biden changed his mind on pardoning Hunter. And so again, thinking about perspective, I think this article was bullshit in terms of like he changed his mind. He was always going to pardon that nigga. He was never going to let his son go to jail. All that talk,
So I want to credit who's the YouTuber that I need to credit that somebody just put me on to too, but I do kind of like man, what's his name? I'll find it later, but I need to so this is not, I didn't come up with this.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason he had to initially say he was not going to pardon his son was because at the time he was initially being asked back in the day, Trump was under all these indictments and everybody was saying, oh, we got to put Trump away on the 90 indictments and this and that and the porn star, so everything was, you can't have a president up here not supporting the rule of law and all this kind of stuff. So of course at the time Joe had to run the line. No, we're gonna let the courts do their thing, and we're gonna and get the as soon as his career is washed, what I was trying to find real quick, because my man R.M. Brown had a little clip of it. But if you go, like, people are rightly pulling up all of the years of Biden's running his mouth on lock him up for the little bit. He said he did that. Remember that speech? Got a crack rock smaller than a quarter. You going to prison for 5 years, he said. Minimum. And the crime bills and all this stuff, and then all this running, and then of course.
So what it says here is, and again, here they're trying to give you some analysis about how he changed his mind, which is, again, I think it's BS. But it says support for pardoning Hunter Biden had been building for months within the family, but external forces had more recently weighed on Mr. Biden, who watched warily as President-elect Donald J. Trump picked loyalists for his administration. And who doesn't pick loyalists for their administration, who promised to bring political and legal retribution to Trump's enemies. Mr. Biden had even invited Trump to the White House, listening without responding to the president-elect air familiar grievances about the Justice Department, then surprised his host by sympathizing with the Biden family's own troubles with the department, according to 3 people briefed on a conversation. But it was Hunter Biden's looming sentencing on federal gun and tax charges scheduled for later this month that gave Mr. Biden a final push. A pardon was one thing he could do for a troubled son, a recovering addict who felt he had been subjected to years of public pain. When the president returned to Washington late Saturday evening, he convened a call with several senior aides to tell them about his decision. Time to end all of this, Mr. Biden said, according to a person briefed on the call. And so just further, Mr. Biden's decision has tarnished a storied, according to the New York Times, tarnished a storied public legacy that began more than 50 years ago, blah, blah, blah. So here you go. Joe Biden pardoning Hunter and into perpetuity. So apparently claiming that, like, just in case Trump tries to bring something else affiliated with these charges, that pardon holds. And of course, this pardon is and Biden was charged and prosecuted and took a plea on federal charges. And so he has the legal authority. But you're right. All these folks that Biden, over decade after decade after decade after decade, has not only allowed to rot in jail, but constructed laws and policies which sent those folks to jail and prison, advocated ferociously for sending people to prison for small, so-called small crimes. But his son, he uses the power of the presidency to pardon. So
odds he'll do it for Peltier. Zero from me.
Zero for me.
But and I wanted, before I say this, I want to stress in advance the word almost. I almost begin to feel a little sorry for this sister here. Almost. And this is from my favorite white man, R.M. Brown.
Show me the proof, dumbass.
Personal matter, but from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No, nobody.
Well, is there,
I just said no. I just answered.
She just said
nobody.
Mute his son if he's convicted.
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear, and I said no.
Whoa. Hey, she spit on them. She's sick of these guys asking these questions, so she spit on them. Go like this.
If I called my dad and said, I am about to violate a congressional subpoena.
If I call my dad.
Dude, I like this. This dude is.
Frankly.
Show me the proof, dumbass.
I know he keeps playing.
That's a great question.
First briefing since Hunter was indicted again in Los Angeles.
Where?
Why doesn't President Biden just pardon him?
Great question.
President, I've been very clear. The president's not going to pardon his
And one
son.
more about these.
Give him a break. That's a great question. Give him a
Ukraine
break.
money for border.
I just like how indignant she is too about it.
That is not going to change over the next months. The president's.
So he just left her out there to say no. But then here's the reminder that R.M. Brown
found
did.
this video. What is this? From 1991. Let's check this out.
And these penalties range from an automatic 5 years in jail for any person caught with a rock of crack cocaine, a piece of crack cocaine.
Don't do it,
as
Joe.
small as a quarter. I don't have a quarter with me, but if you visualize what one looks like, yeah, I do have a quarter.
Okay, thank God.
If you have
Wouldn't have been able to picture it otherwise, Joe.
piece of crack cocaine,
Right.
no bigger
don't.
than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand,
Okay.
one
can't-
quarter of
okay.
$1. We passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurman and myself and others.
Rom Thurman, by the way.
If you're caught with that, you go to jail
Right.
for 5 years.
Unless you could get
You
somebody to
get
pull some
no
strings, Joe.
probation.
What?
You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a
Calm
choice.
your ass.
He's so
Anyway.
proud of himself. He's so proud.
So proud of himself. Reached across the aisle, Kamau, to work with the most racist of racists.
The
make sure.
the longest serving segregationist, overt segregationist.
Absolutely.
And so proud. And I agree. Like, he was always going to pardon him, and it was just a matter of timing. And so all these stories or whatever, and again, it shows whether Democrat or Republican, the system works the same. Everybody knows Donald Trump would do the same, and this whole idea that somehow Biden was not going to do the same to sort of make us believe that he was somehow bigger than that or whatever. It's completely trash. It's like he was always going to pardon him. He was waiting for the right time. I just want to see. I don't know if she still has to come up in now. I guess she still has a few more weeks left on her job. What is going to be her response? Her being the press secretary. the first time she's asked that question. I just want to know.
I might actually have to tune in or find the tape on that, because
I'm assuming today, tomorrow, it's got to happen soon.
Yeah.
If I was thinking, I had to be on vacation. I'm not coming back up on it. But they don't care either, because they'll lie and come back and just lie again. You know.
I think we all would have pardoned our kid if they got locked up.
I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I wouldn't spend months telling people I won't do it.
That's the thing for me. And it's not, of course, I'm not letting my kid go to jail if I can stop it. But it's not just that he kept promising to not do it. It's that he was only promising to do it in this political game with Trump. And that's the part that I think is, I don't know, both the funniest and also the part that needs to be raised up, that he was always lying. And then it was just a response. Jamal Thomas is his name. That's the YouTuber's name that I was watching and got that from. Jamal Thomas. Yeah, anyway. So, but yeah, I'm not, so it's also, I'm not mad that you would take advantage of your power to free your child, but it is that clip we just played showed, and the other side. I mean, you've built a whole career on, I can't wait to lock up everybody else, and then black ones in particular. Yeah, but and
again, the part that people don't want to, Hunter has been obviously the addiction, but outside of the addiction, they have been basically living off their family name for decades. Hunter Biden, who's receiving contracts, again, that the right wing brings up for areas of work he knows nothing about, only because he was the son of the vice president and then president. So only because of the influence has this guy been able to make a career, which again, he squandered because of his addictions and all the rest of it. But he built a level of wealth that was only attainable through the closeness of power, being close to power like that. And he knew it. His father knew it. All those around them knew it. And so when mainstream media or corporate media tries to suggest that somehow, he wasn't trading in, and this is somehow should not be considered some sort of illegality or something that should have people should have some moral stance against it. That's also part of the ridiculousness of it. It's not even just that, hey, this kid, this older guy, not even a kid, he comes off like he's like 12. So I think that's partly why he gets
right.
Whatever. This guy who's, again, with the illegal guns and the drugs and suffering through sort of a terrible addiction, all sympathy in the world. There's no sympathy in the world whatsoever for somebody who's suffering through that, but also who's prospering off of the name of their father, who again tries to act like they're above all of it. And none of it is taking place as it's all taking place with the media that protects him, because they want the neoliberal president over the right-wing president. So all that stuff I think is coming back to bear, and should have for him.
I also think it's perfect in the sense that this is a good reminder of why at least a number of us around here argue against this two-party lesser of evilism, because when the Democrats are supported and get away with something, all it leads to is something worse from the Republicans, and then we're asked to support the Democrats to bring it all back to the initial level of insanity. So right out the gate, Trump, and whoever got this picture, this is a good picture for this story. Trump uses Hunter Biden pardon to hint potential clemency for January 6th insurrectionists. So then, of course, whether he needed it or not, Trump and his crew were going to be like, "What if we letting people out? if people is just getting out regardless of their crimes? Like, let's go. Let's let so Donald Trump seized on Hunter Biden's pardon to drop one of the strongest hints yet that he intends to grant clemency to at least some of the instigators and participants of the January 6th attack back in 2020. Does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages who have now been imprisoned for years? Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice, the U.S. president-elect posted on his Truth Social platform. So they're hostages now. I missed that. I did miss that rebranding.
I missed that too.
Wow.
But
so
that
the
makes
hostages, from the Palestinians to the Democrats, they're holding up these hostages, and everybody gotta.
And again, that's the good part about Trump for somebody like me is he's basically tearing down his system as he goes. He's calling the justice system a system that's holding people hostage. His talk, at least, about disbanding the FBI or all that kind of stuff, to me, we were in for an interesting ride, but I can't wait. I just want to know what day, what day he starts to do the pardons for the January 6th insurrectionists. Like that for me will be just to see, again, the neoliberal press lose their minds with huge headlines. Because that's going to be something for me. I was I agree. He's going to do it. It's just a matter of when. And I don't think he's the type to wait all 4 years either. I think he's made some promises, and again, he wants to play to his crowd. And so I think that's going to happen sooner rather than later in terms of his presidency. So that's going to all be interesting.
And what are the rules now? How does this work? Can he run? He's been president once. Can he, can he run again after these next 4 years? No, you can only do it twice.
You can only do it twice, whether consecutive
or not. Okay,
yeah.
All right, okay.
So he's going to do it now. It's just so for that in particular, he's going to do that now. It's just a matter of when. And usually pardons are at the end of the term when the president is a lame duck president, right? That's usually when they pull out their pardon pens. Because again, no one can do anything to them at that stage. They don't have to run on a record. They've already been, either elected a second time, or this is the end of their time being the president. So then they bring out the pardon pen, and if there's a few folks who might be considered controversial, those folks might get some pardons. And I remember, didn't he pardon? I think he was already out of prison, but he pardoned his son-in-law's father the last time. This is Trump when he was when he was president. But I think it was after his sentence, so it's basically, I guess, his form of clemency or whatever. But I think those kind of things. But I think this time around, again, as opposed to waiting to the end of the term and having those folks spend another 4 years, he's going to look at it as sort of bringing home heroes, and having those folks come out early. And then I would love it if he also did some sort of event for them at the White House. That would be the kicker. That would just start a shitstorm.
You stormed the Capitol. Now I'm going to invite you to the White House.
Yeah. Yes. That would be or invite him to Congress. Invite him to Congress when he does the what's the speech?
The State of the Union. Yeah.
The State of the Union. That would be.
Have them in the front row getting the special praise treatment. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Yes. The very person.
And would any Democrat boycott at a protest?
Oh, they would boycott for the show of it. And but if Hunter showed up at whatever last speech that Biden gives, they'll be there for that. They'll be there for that. But they're still out of protest. Because they tried to make this was part of their whole thing, is that Trump is this dangerous character, and look what he's doing. So they have to continue with that narrative, even again as they've given nothing to the people who actually vote for them all the time, who decided not to, because weed and crypto just wasn't enough to pull out the masses and shit. So,
wow, are we being accused? So will we be happy with the first pogroms? Are we being not sullen enough at the election of Trump? Is that so? Now we're going to be blamed for praising the pogroms? No.
Yeah. People have this thing. I've seen, there was this video of Black women standing to the side watching the United States burn, and I guess the idea was because Kamala wasn't elected, that you get what you get, or something like that. And so some people have falsely misunderstand the politics. Some of us never believed that you could save America anyway, and what is there to save, because it wasn't changing. And so the whole idea that because you voted in a Democrat, you were somehow stopping tyranny is ridiculous on its face. And so those politics don't even impact somebody like us, because we didn't believe in them anyway. America was always white supremacist. America has always involved itself in white supremacist activities, whether you had Democrats or Republicans. And so the fact that you're so scared of a Trump and not scared of an Obama for some of us shows your lack of politics, not my lack of politics. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. We truck thump. But yeah, no, yeah, it's been a lot of that. And who just said Stone Chowder said not the Starbucks told us not to do it again. Not again, please. Not to get into that whole thing again. Yeah. But anyway, all that. Okay. There is something that, oh wait, no, we got to take a break. We got the ear doctor coming up. My bad. Ear doctor, come on, man. My bad. Bad segue.
Oh no. It's all good. It's all good. I want them to be ready for what you got to say after this. But what y'all was talking about, the parties and stuff like that, I was perusing Black Liberation Media, and I found a show called the Black Miss Podcast. You want to talk about it? Want to see it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's do this.
Just perusing.
Get your vocab up, bitches. All right, big up to everybody. Hit that like button, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare. Go to blkliberationmedia.org and donate. All right, so as I was getting my peruse on, I checked out the Black Miss Podcast, and I said, oh, so they was talking about, is it easier to organize under the Democrats? Let's see what they're talking about here. What's your thoughts?
In our pre-production episode, this is a very simple thing for me. If it's easier to organize under Democrats, then your candidate should have won. You know what I'm saying? It's not really,
point blank, period.
It's not, like,
if it was easier to organize underneath a Democratic administration, which we already are under, then you should have won.
Yeah, like people, these things can be tested. Like, you can't just make statements. So if it's easier to organize, then why did you just lose to a fascist? You know, it doesn't. Maybe it's not easier when that's your candidate, when the party continues to piss off its base, when it offers diet genocide or whatever. Like, maybe that's not easier to organize under because it does not really galvanize people in the way that you, as a so-called radical, wants it to. So the argument doesn't really hold up there. We're going to get into history and what is organizing and all of that. But I'm just saying, like, if it was easier, then you should be able to demonstrate that in the election.
All right. Make sure y'all go check out that episode of Black Miss Podcast. And let's get back to our hosts and see what their thoughts are about this topic right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Yeah, twice. Twice it should have been easier to organize to stop the fascists from coming in, and twice they lost. So,
but I'm also thinking of it the other way, though, going in the other political direction. If it's easier to organize under Democrats, where all the good shit at? Where's all the universal health care and ending of wars and you know, $25 minimum wage to bring it up to where pay would be equivalent to the 1970s? Where's all the good shit at? Where's the end of the police violence? Where's the defunding? Where's the redistribution? Where's all the good shit? Like, what is? So I'm glad that, you know, that Black Myths didn't have to spend too much time and had the shortest episode ever, because like student loan debt, as Pookie Wood just said in the chat. Like, seriously, where's all the good shit at? Like, so if it's easier to organize when the Democrats are in power, for 12 of the last 16 years, by the way, you know, so then you're just confessing that you don't want nothing and you were good with the bullshit, or what did he say? Two Blacks say genocide light. So you're good with that because you don't want nothing else. Oh, okay, all right.
And speaking of pogroms, I mean, we got COINTELPRO, the destruction of Black organizing, primarily under Democrats, right? Going back to the Johnson years. Those are pogroms, right? Like when they go into communities, shoot up organizations, organizers, people, arrest folks in mass, infiltrate organizations. Those are under Democrats. I guess it's great. It would send the Democrats. We can allow everything. We can allow it all to happen.
For those who don't know, what is the definition of a pogrom? I've never heard this word before.
The pogroms are what was generally associated with the SARS of Russia rolling into Jewish communities and killing everybody and burning up the neighborhoods and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Yeah. But so the idea that this shit is just so crazy, man. Yeah, where's all the good shit at under the Democrats?
Yeah, all the victories.
I mean, you know.
And maybe it's victories for, like, you know, again, for certain bourgeois people or certain middle class folks who get to be close to what they consider to be power, or they get to get some more contracts, or they get to take some more pictures, they get invited to certain parties. Maybe that's what they mean by better. Like, better for who? Better for a certain class of people who get to associate themselves. But it ain't better for the larger community. It certainly ain't better for folks around the world in terms of U.S. empire and hegemony. So I don't see who's it better for. If you want to carve it up, there's a certain class of people who get to go to a Stevie Wonder concert at the White House. You know, that's cool, I guess.
Exactly.
That's better.
Yeah.
And for 4 years, they can't do that for 4 years. So that can't be better. You know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah. So exactly. Speaking of something silly, I've been trying to pay a little more attention to what's happening in the Sahel and watch a couple things. And so I admit that all the good stuff I was looking at in terms of so wait a minute. So Faye is, I think you say his name, in Senegal, just said the French military got to go.
Oh yeah.
So I like that. And even as he's saying, look, and he had a good point. They were like, "Are you trying to hate on France?" And he said, no. We just need a new relationship. He said, you know, our biggest trade partner is China, and they don't have a military base in our country. So it's not like we can't do business. You just can't be posted up. So I like that. And I see Traore is holding on too. I saw I missed, apparently there were a couple of assassination attempts that he has survived. So salute to that. But I did notice in this Washington Post story, I believe it's this morning or very recently. I can't. The 1st, December 1st. That as all this well, from our perspective, good stuff is happening. The Washington Post, true to form, wants to, in its own very professional style way, say no, because whatever's happening, it's the Russians. By the way, my bad for this interruption. But speaking of blaming the favorite enemies, I do watch that dumbass show Tulsa King. I have to admit it. I know it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It is really,
this is
really
the one
stupid.
with Sly, or this is the one
This
with
is Stallone coming out of
Stallone
prison in New York as a gangster. He goes to Tulsa and sets up like the most. It is, oddly enough, it's obviously a Trump, like everything is Trump, but it's this multicultural. He's doing this. I don't know. He's got the black driver. He's got the queer woman running the weed thing. They're selling weed. He's got the hillbilly over here. He's got the Native American over there. He's got this whole little eclectic crew, right? But what it turns out, everybody has to be unified to come together because to kill the Chinese. That's the
huge plot line? That's the big plot line?
You think it might be going in this direction, that direction. They're setting this one up to be the bad guy, that one to be the bad guy, and out of nowhere they just quickly build up no, it's really the Chinese. It's Ming. Got to get Ming. And then true to form, Ming and his whole Chinese conglomerate just walk themselves into a bunch of bullets on a ranch, and Sly walks out with a cigar, having taken out the whole Chinese crew and avenging their killing of their indigenous. It was just so. But my point is that's what the Washington Post is doing with the Russians. This long article is as it says here, inside the effort to market Russia to Putin. Inside the effort to market Russia and Putin to Africans. And the long story short is, whenever you see revolutionaries or wannabe revolutionaries, they're over here taking selfies with a life-size figure of Putin. And I'll just summarize the whole thing here. In recent years, Russia has intensified its efforts in this part of West Africa, where military strongmen have overthrown governments seen as close to the West. So they're military strongmen, especially and where Islamist extremist violence is spiking. Burkina Faso, with 23 million people, is at the epicenter of that violence, and its interim president has become a leading proponent of working with Russia in an effort to stem it. So clearly, the Washington Post is back on some, hey, our colonial friends aren't the problem. It's this, right? And then they got, so here you go, you get your life-size picture with Traore and Putin. And this is the problem. Africa Initiatives IO posed, so like, this is the brother that's running this initiative that they're saying is behind all. Anyway, that was really it. I don't have much.
No, because clearly the Africans were doing well under Western protection and colonialism. Yeah, clearly having your resources taken away from your country. If you look at Africa under Western colonialism and current sort of neo-colonialism, colonialist efforts, you have such a built-out Africa that the population is just so sad to see the military bases go, the Western companies go, the trading with the Western companies on minerals and diamond mines. It's the best it's ever been for Africans until these dictators stepped in and strongmen overthrew this great system that was working so well for the whole continent.
So everybody was chilling.
Everybody was chilling up until that moment. Up until that moment, nobody had a beef. Everybody was happy. You kept seeing them welcoming. They're like Western compatriots to come into the land. Why are these people just messing it up? And of course, they're not doing it on their own. They don't have the thought.
That's the beauty. Just like here, whenever anybody does anything, it's the Russians.
Mm-hmm. It's like,
the Russians made us do it.
It's not smart enough to think at all that we should change our conditions. We should have control of resources. We should think about something else besides Western capitalist domination. Where would you get such crazy thinking from? Of course, you can't think of it yourself. These bad Russians are influencing you and making you think these improper, impure thoughts. And we got to do something to expose this, because on your own, you are too childlike to think, like, why would you change the system up? It's working so well. That's the crazy shit.
Yeah. I just exactly. And I was loving that. I was just loving that Africans can't think for themselves anywhere in the diaspora.
Anywhere. And again, going back to the earliest discussion around the books and Dr. King, what was the part of the FBI, part of its propaganda game? Who are these communists?
The communists are infiltrated, and that Stanley Levinson dude, the commie Jew that writes all the King's speeches and makes him think the way he thinks. If it wasn't for him, King would be just a good preacher.
Yeah. Who is upsetting our Negroes in the South? Why are they all of a sudden demanding things? Who's putting these thoughts in their heads? It's got to be the communists.
Yeah. And it was that Russian propaganda that had David Walker writing his appeal too. He was reading what was the leading Russian paper of the mid 19th century. David Walker's like, oh shit, I thought it was cool over here. Oh,
thank you, Russian, for opening my eyes. Thank you.
Oh shit. Let me write my appeal based on Pravda. Shit, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And again, and why wouldn't they have Russian friends if Russians haven't been the ones who colonized us? Why wouldn't we ask the Soviet Union to help? Why wouldn't nation states get weapons or revolutionary movements get weapons from somebody who hasn't been their colonizer? Well, of course they would, just like anybody would. So it's just the BS to keep folks thinking that somehow those are the outside bad guys who, otherwise, again, our folks would be just so happy with the way things are currently. Somebody's always messing it up, talking to Uhuru, talking to people out.
Oh my God, right. Because that St. Petersburg, Florida election, boy, I tell you, the whole empire was hinging on that. So they were like, yo, call O'Malley, because no, I mean, it's so foul, man. It's so foul.
I mean, that's the part that's like the most ridiculous to me is like, so because part of the indictment or the claim was that the Russians were trying to influence the local election. Do they have a special affinity because it's called St. Petersburg in Florida?
Right. That's right. That's it. That's it. That's the connection. They were like, oh, comrades in St. Petersburg, we must call Comrade O'Malley and who, by the way, was just sitting down there with the Uhuru movement. They were just sitting down there playing spades and dominoes and drinking 40s.
Doing black shit. Happy
to be doing black shit. And then, no, comrade, you are oppressed in St. Petersburg. Word! Oh!
Thank you so much. Until you pointed it out to me, I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
And then the shit is funny until cats get real federal indictments. Then the shit, like, that's where because I remember reading the indictment the first time whenever a year or two ago, and I was laughing because I was like, this is not real. This is a fucking Onion story. And
the whole fucking country's an Onion story. Yeah.
The whole country's an Onion. And salute to the Onion who brought up Alec Jones' shit. I thought that was funny too, by the way. So salute to them on that. That's the kind of hate. If I had money, that's the kind of shit I'd be doing too. Buy InfoWars and turn it into an extension of Black Liberation Media. That would be the funniest shit ever. Get your bunker, your Patriot bunker. What are those shits? Meals, survival meals. Yeah.
Maybe I will ask my hero Trump to pardon Uhuru 3, because you know who prosecuted him? Your fucking man Biden. Your Biden, who at the same time is allowing his son out of prison, which you seem fine with. I don't see the pardon. Where's the pardon for the Uhuru 3 at? Go ask your man Biden, who's so who is so on our side to do that. Why doesn't he go pardon them? Why he's letting his prosecutors arrest and charge them and so forth? Why don't we allow that to happen? Why don't we get that to happen? Since it's easy to organize under the Democrats.
Yeah, just hold on for 4 years. Just hold on for 4 years. Duck, bob and weave for 4 years, and then the Democrats will be back, and you'll be good. You'll be good. We'll get might even be a black one. Might even be another black one. Wes Moore.
No, I think they're done with the black candidates for now.
Really?
Because I think they're going to go further right, and so for them, it's going to be let's get back to the black. We can get a black vice president or a person of color vice president, but our main person has to be a white man. I think they're going to be back on that. They're going to be like, we tried these others or whatever. Like unless they got a sure bet with like an Obama. Not that he was a sure bet at first, but I just don't think Moore has the charisma, the Obama charisma.
I don't either.
And I think they're going to go deep into the the Midwest or something like that, or a state that supposedly they think they can flip. That's why I don't even think somebody mentioned Newsom. I used to think Newsom was the leading person, but it doesn't make sense because they got California. So they're going to need somebody. They're going to, at least in their estimation, they're going to need and or want somebody who they think is going to, again, appeal to Trump voters. So this is going to be another time period of them telling, like a Clinton era, where we get the overtness of like, shut the fuck up. You're doing too much. This, we stay here. in your pocket, vote for us because you don't have a choice because we're peeling off these white boys, these white women from Trump. That's going to be their whole theory again, because that's where their theory always goes. Their theory never goes more left or more radical. But I think this time around, their theory is also going to be less black, less blackish. Again, maybe vice president, just to get, you know, they got to do something to bring it to continue to get that black vote. But they firmly go. I would be surprised if it's not some white man from the Midwest who is some moderate, or what's that dude from Pennsylvania even? Just the crazy senator from Pennsylvania who.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah, that's my thinking. That's my thing. I've been wrong so many times on the presidential election, though. So you know, so you can't hold me to this.
No, but I did see folks. Well, the mainstream liberal left argument apparently already is we lost because Kamala was too much of a communist. So I think you're probably right. And I might have thought that the military thing with Wes Moore would keep him in that mix, pun intended. But I think you're probably right. They're probably like, nah, man, enough of this already. Let's get back to the whites.
Yeah, let's get back to the whites.
Get this under control. Get another Bill Clinton Southern drawl sounding.
Because again, under their estimation, they're going to be like, look how well Biden did. It's like, look how well, you know. So for them, it's like
they can be like, don't you want the good old days under Sleepy Joe? Wow. Yeah. No, you're probably right. You're probably right. That's yikes. So yeah, but you know, whoever's hating on us in the chat for whatever we're saying, they can rest assured. I mean, it's the Dems in California with that Newsom character that supported no reparations and more slavery. So
yes,
you know, congratulations. Oh my goodness, Ear Doctor, you coming back or what? I saw you. Was you faking with us?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm back. I was just reading how Miss Universe runner-up says she wasn't offended by the CEO calling the winners blonde hair and blue eyes the ultimate evolution for the pageant.
Whoa.
Oh wow.
They always won. They did not always win?
Nah, it's usually a black.
No, it's it'd be like these beautiful international, like they get kind of international with this sometimes. You see some, you know. So like
I would have said the same thing if I was white.
That's some DEI shit. That's some affirmative action stuff that needs to be put back.
I would have said the same thing if I was white though. I'm like, yes, we back, bitches.
Oh, so they said, okay, so this is Denmark. Denmark won Miss Universe.
Yeah.
Looking like Glinda the Good Witch.
And that's the runner-up, right? That's the runner-up with the green, with the black chick over there with the
Nigeria
silk press. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
I mean, that's what it's called now. I know my daughter got one.
Yeah, I can't even believe I shouldn't even say this, that we still do this in this world. Like they're still doing this. This is still a thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I would have said the same.
And then
I remember when I was young and like Miss America or Miss USA, they were primetime shows.
Yeah.
They were like all over the networks, whatever. Huge,
it was a big deal.
Ratings, lots of advertisers all over that. And everybody was waiting for that one area. The swimsuit.
Yes, sir.
Oh wow. I just saw, okay, so Child of God got blocked because they went there to talk about giving illegal immigrants something. So it's the California.
What did he say? Oh my God.
I don't know. I'm only catching part of the exchange, but apparently one of the they were saying that but give illegal immigrants grants for new homes. Is that really what's happening? Is that what's happening? They're taking the black jobs and the black homes. So get rid of them immigrants and have Kamala build another wall, finish the wall that Trump and Biden didn't finish.
I'm like, great. I want them to have more homes. I want as much fucking illegal immigrants, so-called illegal immigrants in this country as possible. It does me no. I might go and rip down a fucking fence.
Bro, Florida's suffering right now when it comes to construction.
Oh, you mean because I don't care. I want them in because I want the country. I want the whites. I want the whites in the minority.
Like, who's gonna do that
much
work?
as possible.
I don't think they're really considering that. Like, yo, they was doing the construction work.
I
now
want them
Florida's
to be
hurt.
scared and fucking surrounded, and feel like they're losing their country. And I want the original people to come back to the land. Because remember, they had no fucking borders beforehand. So come back to the land, spread out, do your thing. I just let me get my little, let my people get out a little, whatever. We good. Come back to your land. Help you. Do whatever it takes. Come through the border. I'm not mad at it at all. Sanctuary. Every city should be a sanctuary city.
I love it. Let's I love it. Let's go I like the aggressiveness of it. Let's go the opposite way. Tear down all the fences and all the border. Let everybody in.
On PT, if the whites are against it, then it's got to be good. You can just stop with the bullshit. When the whites hate it, sit down and think about it for a while. It's like, why are they hating it?
Do it around here. That's how we do it around here.
Why do they hate it? And if they hate it, how can we get more of it?
Kamal with all them books behind him is a front. All them books he was holding up earlier is a front. It's very simple.
It's the opposite.
Whites don't like it. I like it.
More of that, please.
More of that. That's Kamal's election analysis. Let all of them in so the whites be more upset. I love it. I'm with it. But it is, first of all, it's levels of absurdity. And for anyone to even take one step towards getting caught up in our situation is worse because they're here so I like that. No. Let them all come on in here.
Mm-hmm.
Let them all come. They're not doing nothing bad to anybody.
And a lot of times you trace the economic problems happening in these other countries. It's based on U.S. policy, whether or not that's been policies of invasion or U.S. economic policy in particular, which has caused a disruption in these folks in the land in which they were on. That's made them say, let's just go here. Yeah. So
U.S. and Mexico, I've been learning a little bit more about it lately. The U.S. working with Mexico to determine where all of the immigrants coming from Central and South America, where they're likely to end up going and how they're likely to end up getting here and to what extent they're likely to end up getting here has a lot to do with those two countries working in tandem. And it's a whack situation. And yet in Mexico, apparently, right, they're electing more progressive people. Uruguay just apparently elected an actual left president as a response to the claims of rising fascism. And yet we over here talking about, no, let's get genocide light. Or somebody who was in the chat that said diet genocide.
Quiet genocide.
Diet. So, and it was when I worked at the movie theater, you would have those people that would show up. I remember, and do that classic. I want the large popcorn with the butter. I want the 16 packs of M&Ms and the Twizzlers and a Diet Coke. That's the
like I was being healthy, or like I was being healthy with my Diet Coke.
Right. I got the nachos with the cheese, the big pretzel. I did, they coming in there with the whole tray of shit and a Diet Coke. Feeling it. And that's the United States. They come in with all the bombs and the genocide, but then they bring like a little rainbow flag or a little black power fist and and it's like, oh, okay. That balances it all out.
I'm eating well now. See,
that's like light beer. I don't get it. It's crazy.
Light beer. Drink 75 of them. Talking about I did myself a favor with the calories. Just drank 700 beers. You know what I'm saying? Talking about light. Get the hell out of here.
I want to do some research on New Mexico. Like, how do you become a New Mexico? How did that even come about? Like,
New Zealand, New England.
What's the old Jersey? Like New Jersey. New York.
Jersey's a British, whatchamacallit.
York is too. York was a British Duke or whatever he was. Yeah, named after somebody.
Original over
here. I think York was originally a York in England, and so now there's a New York here, that kind of thing.
No originality, boy.
Nah.
Just take Mexico and say, oh, this is the New Mexico.
That's what I'm saying. There's no time for all that.
We do Mexico, California. Again, it wasn't before real borders.
speed running genocide. There's no time for those details. We don't have time for it's the new shit. Call it that.
And then we'll just do the propaganda over it, and then everybody be like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, Kai, why read? I got y'all. Fuck out of here. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break.
Wait a minute, was the Dutch? The Dutch was New York. Did I get that part wrong? Was that the New York?
Well, Harlem was right. Harlem is a Dutch thing and Dutch term, and was it originally white?
Yeah. Thank y'all for the correction.
So we got it's an Old Hampshire.
Yeah, all of that shit's in England. They literally were not thinking like that. They were like, it's new shit. It's just we're stealing the indigenous form of democracy. We're stealing the labor from Africa. We're stealing the names from England. It's like, what?
I love the smart people in the chat, even when they're arrogant.
Oh yeah.
When they but I appreciate the corrections and stuff like that.
Yes, appreciate y'all.
But then somebody had to go like, they taught that in history class. Ha 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 ha. Mother.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, my recall wasn't perfect for you.
You got to be perfect for them. All right, let's take a quick
undefeated, infallible, ineffable.
They know it all.
Inerrant chat.
Fucking know it all.
Well, some of them know it all. Some of them don't know whatever. Y'all need to battle y'all friends in the chat. Some of y'all friends in the chat.
Y'all need to get the Ear Dr. Ponders book coming out. All right, let's go take a quick mental health break and get right back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Remix on the remix. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Can y'all do that? Let's do it like this. Let's take you to a place. Y'all ready to get up? Let's go, let's go!
Will I never make love to you once again? Please understand. If you love it, then I promise you that I shall never breathe again. Then I shall never breathe again.
All right, let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to 1993. We're talking about Toni Braxton off her album Toni Braxton. The name of that song is Breathe Again, Breathe Again. That's right. We on that breathe shit today. All right, mixed with a little bit of 2004. We talking about the Crime Mob off their album Crime Mob. Nuck if you buck, nuck if you buck, nuck if you buck. Yes, mixed with a little bit of nuck if you buck. So big up to ATL on both of those. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare, and yeah, go to blkliberationmedia.org and donate. Yes, that's how we do it. And you get more of these remixes on the remix. All right, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
Buzzing constantly, rapping in your city streets. Whenever I love you now and then.
Yeah.
Toni Braxton. Damn.
Oh my God. I'm in love with it.
A moment. Yeah. Have a moment. Yeah.
I love me some her. That was the most Ebonic song. I love me some him. Pick up to Toni.
Toni.
Yes, to Toni.
Especially in that I Get So High video with that white cat suit. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was the pinnacle. Yeah, that was the pinnacle. Toni Braxton, you know. No doubt. Yeah, I remember that.
You sweating over there a little bit, Kamal. You good?
Yeah, yeah.
Kamal's flustered.
The moment.
Yeah.
The steam. Yes.
Hey.
All praises due. All praises due.
Yeah. Remix on the remix.
I ain't know none of them other sisters. It's like Toni. It's like, wow, god damn. Right.
Yeah. Tamar.
It's Tony and her sisters. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to quickly just so folks clear about the whole. Like I think y'all thinking too small about the overthrow of the country. It ain't gonna happen until these borders are open. So yeah, I thinking way too small. All this fight around the right way to come in and the legal versus whatever. I mean, some people are just ignorant about it, but as much immigrants from Latin America as possible, come on in. Like I got places for you to stay and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like whatever I can do. I'll start a community movement builders. This for the folks to come over and whatever. A sanctuary city, like in the houses we got. Whatever we can do. Just come on over.
Sanctuary housing.
A sanctuary housing and shit like that. Like, don't you worry about that. Just bust down the doors. Don't worry about some damn people worried about some citizenship. You barely a citizen. Fuck you worried about somebody who's gonna take your black job? What the hell is wrong with you?
No, that really is. I think you're right. It's a fear of letting go. And it's this idea that we can hold on and this idea that we will get more of this. And no, this has to be redistributed far beyond. So open up all them borders. And no, but I think you are right about that. I mean, and this is, you said you struggled with revolutionary suicide. And maybe it's just, I don't know, but what I always appreciated, because he talks about intercommunalism in there, right? Is that where? But that's how I always understood his argument. That is, Huey's argument, that it's a version of what you're saying. There is no black nationalism that we can decolonize to. There's no black nation that we can decolonize to that will be independent, free, sovereign, and safe if the rest of the world is not experiencing something similar. So that's how I've always understood what he was trying to get us to see there, that at least in that part with that argument, and it's a version of what you're saying. Like the borders as they're arranged don't benefit anybody. So they got to be, the power would rest with the settlers. They turned the U.S. into a Palestine style apartheid state. Well, they've already, that's why I've always argued, like, white folks, not to disagree with Kamal's argument here, but I've always felt that white folks are generally comfortable operating from minority status, that ultimately they know globally that is their situation. They were happy to have.
That was the best conversation. You and Diallo. Yeah, I said, I sort of agree with each other on the show. I busted out laughing. He's like, white folks have no problem ruling for the minority. And it was like, no, you're right. You're 1,000% correct.
So like the crew here might have to go through an adjustment. They've been spoiled.
Yes.
So they might have to go through some hunger pains or whatever you call it. But that's why, they're bunker building. The super rich are building their bunkers. For the extreme, which is just the dumbest shit ever, because your billions are only worth something in this context. People only work for you in this context. If you're at the point where you need a bunker, like it's a wrap.
Is money gonna be worth anything at that stage?
That's what I'm saying. And it's a wrap. And then what you gonna do? Anyway, but
and I actually don't think we're disagreeing, but no, you finish your point.
No, I don't think we're disagreeing. I'm just saying that I think that's why I'm saying that you're right. Let the numbers come, make them operate, make them struggle to continue to operate. And I'm not even, I don't know how far your analysis goes. I'm stopping at the very, I don't even care. Like, let's just get it popping. Like this is and we'll figure it out later. But in general, no, I like that approach. I like your approach.
Because it's for me, it's actually going back to some discussions that we've had or that you've stated online. It's about the disruption. Part of it is what can happen to disrupt the empire. And there's nothing greater that's disrupting than empires throwing the folks in disarray over the fact that the country is filled with brown people or black people or other folks as the economic world is shifting. The United States is no longer at the center of that economic world. These motherfuckers are going to be in a panic, and they're going to resort to, as we've seen in Israel, the outrageous way in which white supremacy will work to maintain power. And unfortunately, some folks don't understand that, or they think that somehow they're going to cozy up to it, or that, they're talking about everybody else except for us kind of thing. And so let's close these borders because we are Americans too. It's like, you're not no fucking American. I don't care about you. Like, you're a prop. You're a prop to them. And when you're no longer useful, or you try to get too close, or you think you have the same power that they have, or you think that you're their friends, that's all going to be shut down in the end. So it's got nothing to do with folks feeling like, oh, they're taking our country away too. It's like, it ain't your country. They took it and they stole it and they're trying to keep it. And so part of your revolutionary analysis, or some analysis, has to be what disrupts the empire from operating. And mass migration is certainly a disruptor, which I'm not mad at. I got no problems with it whatsoever.
No, and to Child of God and others who might agree, some of you just have no humor, no sense of humor. Don't understand irony at all, because I know the word irony has been destroyed, but you just don't appreciate it. But the other part of it is that while you're saying we're going to be laughing and enjoying the overthrow of Venezuela and all this other stuff, it's not that. It's that your count is off. So the idea that only Trump would invade or disrupt Latin America, that from the Clintons on up, whether it's Haiti, Puerto Rico, where has the democratic policy been benefiting these people? Where have they been aiding and advancing left-wing governments in Central and South America? Where is this happening? So yeah, I'm not speaking for myself. I am clear. Trump, 4 years, there's going to be some wild shit happening these next 4 years. It's going to be a mess. The solution wasn't Kamala. The solution isn't going to be the next Democrat they offer. And I think if folks pay as much attention as they claim to under Trump to what the Democrats do, it may not sound the same. It may not look the same, but a lot of the end results are very much the same. So,
continuation of the policies. When Trump was in and he put all the tariffs on China, what did Biden do? He kept those tariffs going. He extended those tariffs. Same thing with Iran, other nations, Venezuela, other places. The only time they even considered lowering tariffs on Venezuela was when it was in their best interest to do so, because they thought the Middle East was imploding and somehow they wanted to make sure there was more oil. And once that situation was shored up, they went right back to the sanction regime, if they even let up a little bit in terms of Venezuela. So there's no solutions under the democratic scheme of government. It's a continuation with the rhetoric, which is not as heightened. But I completely agree with Jared. There's going to be some wild shit the next 3 or 4 years that are going to be happening. But you'd rather have the controlled wild shit that was already happening as if it wasn't. As if, again, in Palestine, thousands of people weren't already being murdered. Like, here's all the things that Jared laid out earlier, all the things that you're not getting and would never see under a Democrat. Now you're mad because you're not getting under the Republican either. Makes no sense. This is the analysis. This makes no sense whatsoever. Again, unless you're just better off with the lesser of two evils approach. And that's how you think politics should work. And so, again, you might maybe you're one of these people who gets an invite to go to Stevie play at the White House. I don't know. Maybe your favorite artist, like holding up a medal that's put around his neck by the next Democratic president, makes you feel a certain way, makes you feel good about what's happening in the world. Maybe that's what you like, and that's all you need. So, good for you.
Yeah.
Bring me my Mexicans.
Come on. Ven aquí. Vamos. Bienvenidos a Estados Unidos.
Welcome.
Bring them out. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to do. Let's get some more. Let's infiltrate the Border Patrol. Let's start getting leftists hired in these border patrols and just start lifting up the fences and raising the gates. You know what I'm saying? And
¿Cómo estás ustedes?
What was that song that where they said "Dame espacio"? I used to joke with my wife all the time. I know Spanish. I know that song. And it was some man, I want to say it was some 90s hip hop track.
What does this comment even mean? Wait a minute. This is one of these comments that like just don't make sense to me. No one survives a nuclear war. So is that saying that under Trump? Because I could have sworn fucking Truman was a Democrat when he dropped them bombs.
Oh shit!
I could have sworn that nigga was a Democrat. Was I wrong on that? Is Truman a Republican? I could have sworn. What was Truman?
Yeah, let's look that up. Yeah, he was a Democrat.
What a shock. Okay, I could have sworn that was right.
Yeah, he's a Democrat.
But, the United States, it doesn't engage in that kind of stuff. Only under Republicans does it engage in that kind of stuff. So,
oh, it's a Black Rob song? My bad. That's a Black Rob song? Okay, thank you. I used to joke all that. Dame, I know Spanish. Just like, get the hell out of here. But yeah, no, yeah, I don't know what the point of that is either. This idea that Trump brings the country more and the world more to the brink of nuclear war than anybody else. I don't know that that's. I don't know if that's true, but I don't know if. But again, where was the Democratic Party argument to de-escalate nuclear armaments, to defund the military, to stop funding Ukraine so that they would invade the nuclear threat? Like where
bringing NATO to Russia on Russia's borders. There's a simple thing not to do that could have avoided a whole war. I wonder who's pushing that policy. Was it Trump from afar? Maybe Trump is controlling Biden because somebody's controlling that money.
He is smart. Yeah. They say he's smart and apparently very healthy, eating Big Macs and whatever the hell else he claims. But yeah, I mean, that's so yeah, I intend to not in particular go before public audiences here or my classrooms. I don't intend to come into these spaces sullen, scared, sad, and wanting to just say, oh, the world is on the brink of collapse now that Biden or Kamala lost. Forgive me if I'm a little more jovial for some than they would prefer. It is also true. Going back to my childhood, whenever I'm running from either a police officer or just a bully or someone I was afraid of, I would always be laughing. It is always true. Like from the earliest child, like the first time we threw snowballs back when it used to snow here in Maryland, when I threw snowballs at the cars driving by, and this white man got out the car and started chasing us, and I was running. We were running. I was just cracking up. Everybody was terrified, and I was scared, but I just couldn't help it. I was just laughing. I was like, this is and every time, every single time, I'll be scared. Like I'm running, like, oh shit, this is terrifying, but I'm laughing. So maybe that's just my personality or my chemical biological makeup. Like, so I'm not, but at the same time, man, it is also true. I'm also, I've also once, I am the guy that will go, I have been at times the guy who will go to the bully and just be like, let's get it on. Like enough already. So even when afraid, it's like, okay, I'm scared. We're scared, but I'm swinging anyway. So what is up, man? Like, what's up? That's all I'm saying. Like, yeah, Trump is a piece of shit. Yeah, it's a mess. Yeah, the country's this and that. Yeah. But let's meet it with an appropriate energy. Like Kamau said, let the border open. That's the funniest shit I've ever. I don't know if you've ever said that before. I just missed it. But that's the funniest shit ever. I just love it. Open the borders. Everybody's coming in. Let's go.
More.
So that's how that is generally how I feel. You bullying me and you mad at them, then I'm with them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's for GP. I don't have to ask no questions.
We work on the other things later on. It's like right now.
Figure that shit out later.
Yeah. Who's the biggest bully on the block? You are? Well, let's take you down. And then, if unfortunately we can't work out our shit later on, then maybe we will be scrapping. But right now, there's no one doing more to me than what the American Empire is.
If Sylvester Stallone can link up with the Rainbow Children of Tulsa and kill the Chinese, come on, man. We can learn. We can learn from Sylvester Stallone. We can learn from the Tulsa King. Come on, good people. I know we got beef. They even said it in the show. I know we don't fuck with each other. But we're killing them.
The Chinese.
But the Chinese. But Ming got to go. Oh, wow. Now I'm with the conquistadors. Man. That's not my point. You missing the point. Okay, you missing the point. See,
you can't have fun. You can't
have fun. Just can't. Come on, that's not what I'm saying. Anyway, speaking of conquistadors, I know Ear Doctor's on the clock. What's happening this week? Anything we need to announce?
I got some things to announce, but it won't be later in the week.
Okay.
Some things I finally have taken place and happened. They're organizational things. I don't do a lot of bragging about the org, CMB. But I feel like we've made some really good moves. We're making some really good moves. And so, later this week, there might be some bragging. I might do some bragging. Yeah, I'm saying.
I feel like you really don't do bragging. You don't brag about CMB?
Do I? Am I a good bragger? I'm not like that. I'm not like the BAP cats.
Nobody's like BAP. Nobody can. And Zenzabel, don't worry. I confused myself too. I'm just over here having fun. I don't know who the bully is in this analogy. I'm just saying. I just wanted to have fun with the fact that I watched that stupid ass show, and I had to work Tulsa King in somewhere.
Is Tulsa King a great show? Of that other show though, with what's the white guy who got into the fight?
Yellowstone?
Yeah, is that an extension of Yellowstone? Or is that different?
No.
Oh, I don't. No. It's a standalone.
Yeah.
Oh, because Yellowstone is basically a similar presence, though. Like it's like the white man holding on to his ranch. Everybody's trying to get him, that kind of thing.
Oh, I haven't watched that one.
Yellowstone.
No, this is the white man moving into other white man's territory, all stolen from the indigenous, enslaved the black. Brought in a couple poor whites and got rid of the Chinese. That's all. Yeah. That's the
moral. It's the Chinese.
The moral of the story. The Chinese is the problem.
And all those folks will be like in 6 months. It's the Chinese or the enemy again.
Yeah,
it's the Chinese again. The Russians, the Chinese, the Africans, somebody.
No, in season 3, I'm sure we're going to find out that Ming had really been operating under the auspices of some Russian.
Yeah.
That's how it's going.
We just had
to. They got to switch him up for you. They got to switch him up.
Word. So that's good. We got shows. You got something big you working on, Kamal? Anything coming up on your end, Jared?
No, just hanging out the remix later this week. I've wrap up my classes tomorrow. Another semester in the books, and back. Renee is building the run sheet for Saturday. So the spreadsheet is getting worked on. So,
all right.
Open up the borders for the Chinese. Can they come too? The Chinese, everybody, just come on.
I feel like they need some space. It's a lot of them.
They're actually trying to kick them out, because they're accusing a lot of Asian students of being spies for the communist government and all that kind of stuff. So that's part of also the new propaganda.
All right. Yeah. Wow.
All right. Well,
got to leave room for the spies in the U.S. to be trained at U.S. universities. Can't let other people come here with their spies.
My bad, no, it's all good. My last week of my after school program too, so I'm getting ready to chill out. So,
all right,
yes, sir. All right, let's get to it. We will be back here tomorrow, I believe Women's Wednesday. So we have one of the smartest women in the chat room on here. So make sure y'all tune in for that.
Me?
You a woman?
Now you the smartest woman?
Don't genderize me. Don't genderize me.
Don't gender. He's
what do you identify as today? Come out.
the best ever. He's the LL. The
I'm
GOAT of all
LL. I'm
genders.
out of this game, motherfucker.
They'll find out when they was coming up with the L and the B and the G and the D.
Ever.
I was there
The best
first.
pundit ever. No pundit wore white shirts before I wore white shirts, flannel shirts. No pundit rocked beards before I rocked beards. No pundits were fair skinned before I was black and fair skinned. I rocked this shit. When there was an audience for this station, I brought the audience for this station. I carried this station. It was my station. Greatest of all time.
On that note, thank y'all for tuning in to the Remix Morning Show. We out. Whoa. Like my boy Joey say, whoa.